What are we starting up?
The show. See, you just talked during the opening of the show. I was pushing the button, and we're supposed to start the show, and there you go, blabbing away.
Well, I'm a blab star.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to You Name It.
Welcome to You Name It.
Yes, today we have a very special guest.
A very special guest.
Yes, you can tell
He
he's
rode in on the special bus.
very special. T. Wilson, podcaster
Doe?
extraordinaire from the What Up Doe Show.
What up, Doe? What up, Doe? What up, Doe Show?
You're chasing away everybody I know. But anyway, yeah, old friend of mine and longtime podcaster with a big
I'm not
following.
that old.
Well, you're as old as I am. That's
Okay,
pretty old.
I am that old then.
Yeah, so Ryan's not here this week, as you can tell, so T. Wilson has jumped into the seat, and we figured we'd figure out what he thinks about some of these current events this week.
I volunteered to do this for $50.
I have about as much money as 50 Cent right now, so you're not going to get that out of me. Yeah, see there?
I got about 50 cents. How about that?
What happened with that guy anyway? As long as we're on that, what happened with him?
50 Cent is running game, man. That's all. People think he's broke. Man, that dude is running game.
Yeah.
That girl asked for some money. He said, I can't give you no money. I'm bankrupt.
What girl?
You can't
I don't know the
touch his-
story. See, all I heard was he went broke, and I didn't hear why or anything.
Yeah, it wasn't that he went broke. What you heard was that he filed for bankruptcy.
That's true.
And people
yeah.
are taking that as that he went broke. But he's got I think it's his son's mother is coming after some money for something. I've read the story, but I forgot it. And all of a sudden he came up bankrupt. And so now she can't touch his assets.
I heard a statistic today too from the lawyers. So his lawyer says he's broke. Says he's basically got zero money, and the opposing lawyer that's doing the state side of the bankruptcy says he's got $150 million. So,
exactly.
I wonder how he's hiding that. How's he hiding that? Crazy.
He's trying to play the game. He's trying to play the game. And he said his statement. This is his statement. I'm still rich. I just get sued a lot.
I just get sued a lot. Yeah. Got all his money in trusts, probably something like that.
Or distrust, one or the other.
But I don't feel the least bit worried about his income. I don't think there's a chance in hell that guy's going to be broke ever again in his life.
I agree. I tend to agree.
So that was an easy one. See there?
That's what she said.
Now Trump released all of his financials today because he has to for the president.
Donald Trump is my hero.
Is he? I bet you he is too.
Yes, sir.
He's a hero to all kinds of idiots. People, I meant, yeah. Anyway, he didn't lie. He's got billions of dollars in assets. The problem is that when you release financials to the government for the presidential race, you have to release how much you owe, but when it hits like $50 million in a certain account that you owe, you don't have to say how much above that. For some reason. So he could owe $2 billion, and be worth $2,000,001 for all I know. Fucking Trump. That guy's something else, isn't he?
Yes, he is. I love his hair. He has the best tattoo.
Uh-oh.
I mean, the best toupee in the business. He has a nice tattoo as well, but the toupee is what I really like.
All right, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. And we're back. Technical difficulties, as always, with these ridiculous internet connections. Because T. Wilson is eating ice cream, as you can tell, in Houston, where you need to eat ice cream because it's 130 million degrees out, probably, right?
Yes, sir, it is. And I had to go reconnect my bootleg. I got bootleg cable, so you got to go climb the pole and reconnect it.
climb the pole like you're in Green Acres or something. That's ridiculous. But you were telling us all about Donald Trump's hair, the last I heard, through the garbled mess of the internet. I'm sure we can all sort of figure out what you were saying, though.
And he had a tramp stamp, Obama on it.
He had a tramp stamp of what? Obama?
Mm-hmm. He has a tramp stamp of Obama on it. A picture of Obama on his lower back.
Just a picture of his face?
Yeah.
I don't even get it. I'm just trying to figure out how that works. Who's it for? Who's fucking Donald Trump that needs to see Obama?
It's the whole name, It's the logo and all the way across. Because all the women like Obama. Obama made gay marriage legal, so
yeah,
he got a tramp stamp to say Obama.
So, for the women who are fucking Donald Trump from behind.
Mm-hmm. With a strap on.
Okay. Off to a good start here, aren't we?
That's how I roll, baby. That's how I roll.
I guess so. All right.
This is not ice cream, by the way. It's Jell-O pudding.
Oh, so we're going to go there, too. Because we got new news about that, didn't we? I might have talked about it last week on You Name It here. The Quaalude connection. And so what do you think? Did you handle that on your show?
Yeah, we talked about it.
And?
We came to a consensus.
Did you? You know what?
Yeah.
This is really,
Bill Cosby is a serial rapist. And now, see, my thing when I touched on it, though,
yeah,
it was ironic because I touched on it before the rest of the news came out. When the next day, when the judge, I found out the judge released it for exactly the same reason I had a problem with what he had to say.
Yeah.
Because he took this moral high ground against black people and the black youth and they need to pull their pants up or how they need to dress. Meanwhile, he's dressed in some freaking pajamas or whatever the hell he called that outfit he was wearing.
Yeah,
he was in no position to make a fashion statement, and the fact that he took this moral high ground was the reason why the judge said, you know what, since you're on this pedestal and putting yourself there, then maybe people need to see who you really are and call you to the carpet on your own shit. Yeah. And at the same time, somebody made I can't make claim to this line, but I thought it was funny when he said, yeah, this guy telling the black kids they need to pull their pants up. Shit, you need to pull your pants up and her pants up and get off the damn drugs. I thought it was funny.
And get off the damn drugs. My stance on the thing was, and probably still is, pretty close to, I don't know, when you get 40 different women telling the same story, that's one thing, but still, I think it's if it weren't for the fact that he's on his high horse, he'd be no different than any other 70s superstar that was out banging every groupie they could find. Because there's still no proof that he raped anybody besides, there's no legal proof of it. There's a bunch of people saying it, but you know what I mean by that? Like, I think I told Ryan, it's, no one's bringing Motley Crue in for that shit,
Exactly. And you know what? You're absolutely correct. And I made the same comment that he didn't actually say it, but really, I guess, does he have to? You have 40 women saying that you drugged them, gave them some shit, and had sex, and then it comes out that quite some time ago you said, yeah, I bought Quaaludes and gave them to some girls to have sex. So putting two and two together, Sherlock Holmes doesn't look good.
No.
Actually, that's putting 3 and 1 together. Guys, you're damn near there on this one.
Poor Bill Cosby. Not so poor Bill Cosby.
Mm-hmm.
But they're always saying,
like, Bill Cosby, man.
What was Camille thinking at the whole time? Think she knew?
I don't know. Probably.
I'm thinking there's probably an arrangement.
I think she might.
Keep the money and he gets to do what he wants.
Exactly. That's how most of those relationships go.
Yeah, they know what they're getting into. So where did that lead? I didn't even have that on the list.
No, that started because I was eating Jell-O pudding.
Yeah, and that's the thing I was thinking about too. When I do this show with Ryan, he constantly beats into the microphone stand and is drumming his fingers, hitting his fingers on it and everything. Now I got to deal with Lip Smacky over there eating your fucking ice cream. What flavor is it anyway?
It's fucking ice cream. How did you know? That's exactly what it is.
Ben & Jerry's fucking ice cream.
Yes, indeed. Tastes like coochie.
It's called Tramp Stamp by Donald Trump.
Yes, it's fucking ice cream. It tastes like prostitute pussy. That's what it's delicious.
Yeah, delicious. Speaking of prostitution,
yes,
let's
my
get
favorite
away.
Topic.
Let's get away from the. It seems like you said on your show today, it's just nothing but race card all the time. Let's just stray away from that for a bit here.
You know, I like to talk race. I don't like the term the race card. Yeah. And quite often I try to look at situations as person to person and not, even though I think it's goes without saying that there's oftentimes a racial angle there. So let's just talk about right from wrong.
Yeah.
As opposed to why it's wrong because it's us. No, if it's wrong, it's wrong, no matter who it is.
Right.
So I like to try to toe that line instead, so that people can just see that it's wrong first.
Right.
And then we can show you that who if you want to bring it up. I was reading a story, and I'm sorry, I know I'm rambling.
That's the way. This is called You Name It, so keep naming it.
Okay, so I was reading a story
hang on the side. You did push your record button again after we started, right?
I don't think I ever stopped that.
Okay. Technical note for the audience. So anyway, you're reading an article.
Okay, yes. So I'm reading this article on CNN, and it was about I forgot which story it was. I know it was the story that happened in Cincinnati. Okay, so there was a cop would stop the guy because he didn't have a front license plate. He asked him for his driver's license. According to the police report, the guy handed the guy a bottle of alcohol. He handed the cop a bottle of alcohol when he asked him for his driver's license. And who knows what happened from there. Even if that happened, I don't know. But as it turned out, he told him to get out of the car. The guy refused to get out the car. An argument ensued. He tried to take off. The cop took one shot, shot him in the head, and killed him.
Wow, another killing. But you're saying the guy who was driving, the cop comes up and goes, "Hey, can I see your ID?" And the guy who was driving hands him a bottle of booze.
Yes.
Here. My name's Jack Daniels.
Yeah, that's funny, right? So I don't know how true all of the accounts are because, of course, you never hear the dead man's side of the story. But I just found it interesting as I was reading this story how CNN was pushing race into the story. They made sure, and they took a section of the story to pull away from the story itself to make sure you knew and understood the police officer was white and the driver was black. Okay. And it's like, okay, I get that, but why is that part of the story?
Yeah, it doesn't need to be.
Right?
There doesn't seem to be any classic
you want us to care
racial
about that.
Angle. You know?
Yes, you want us to care about that. So that's why when I told the story, I kind of stayed away from it a bit. Because I don't want to muddy the waters of right and wrong with race. Because it changes the complex of the complexion of, no pun intended, but it changes the complexion of the conversation.
Yeah. And it certainly does, too, because then it comes with a whole bunch of other baggage as soon as you start talking about that. So that's just silliness. Matter of fact, we just had our whole Bill Cosby discussion without race, didn't we? Aren't we
Absolutely. Well, yes, indeed. We did not mention the white women.
Well, that goes without mention now, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Oh, God. Speaking of race, then, the D.L. Hughley story. And now you told me before the show that you hadn't heard this.
No, I have not.
This is a TMZ deal where they catch him on the street. You know how they talk to these guys on the street whenever they see him. And this happened just recently. And they asked him, do you think Caitlyn Jenner is beautiful? And he says, well, in a Mrs. Doubtfire kind of way, which I thought was hilarious.
Yes, and, that's funny.
And then the guy asked something else. I can't remember what else it was. It was really not important. But what Hughley said next was really important. He said, what strikes me as funny is that in the same week that you want me to say that Caitlyn Jenner is beautiful, you want to tell me that Serena Williams looks like a man. Did you hear any of that stuff?
Yes, I did. I did hear that.
And he's saying Serena Williams is one of the most beautiful things he's ever seen on a tennis court, and you want Caitlyn Jenner to be beautiful, and you want her to look like a man, and it seems mixed up to him. So, agree or disagree?
I agree. I'm not with the Bruce Jenner thing. I don't even say that other name. I'm not with the transgender shit. I'm sorry, and call me insensitive on it, but I don't give a damn if you want to talk race, if people want to say what they want to say. I'm not in support of it. Fuck the message. Fuck transgenders, all the transracials, all the trans everything, transvestites. Fuck transunion. I don't not like nothing. All of that trans shit can go to hell to me. The boy's name is Bruce Jenner. He looked like a man with a dress on. That's what he looks like to me. Just because he cut his balls off and his dick off, it don't make him a woman. It makes him a dickless man. That's all it does. That's how I feel about it.
Don't hold back on that one.
I'm not going to bite my tongue, buddy.
No, you don't. And nobody has to. That's the beauty of the whole thing. See, me on the other hand, I don't care if Bruce Jenner wants to be Caitlyn Jenner. I just don't care enough. And it's fine with me. You can be whoever you want to be. You can be Caitlyn. I don't give a shit. It doesn't hurt me in any way. So I just don't think that Caitlyn Jenner is beautiful either. I'm with Hughley on that one.
Not even close. No.
It's a giant waste of our time. And you know what? There's no heroic part of that either. The ESPN award, there was no hero factor to Caitlyn Jenner. The Arthur Ashe thing, there was a reason for Arthur Ashe's name to be on that award. It has nothing to do with Bruce Jenner wanting to wear a dress.
Exactly. But at the same time, I think what they are doing, and I really wish it would stop, is that they are taking the Arthur Ashe Award because Arthur Ashe was homosexual, but Arthur Ashe was also heroic. And they are taking that and turning it into the gay award of the sports show.
You think so?
Yeah.
Because it wasn't always that way, right?
Who won it last year?
I don't know.
Michael Sam was the big hero last year, the courageous guy that came out the closet and went to the NFL. So this year it's Bruce Jenner who turned into a bitch, and he's all of a sudden a hero and fucking heroic. So who's going to be next year?
I'm glad you're on the show this
They're
week.
searching right now for the next homosexual or transsexual, whatever the hell they want to call it, to come on the stage and pick up the Arthur Ashe Award, which is an insult to what the Arthur Ashe Award is supposed to stand for.
And
it's not something you have to be gay to receive.
And it should never go to TransUnion either. That's the one I can't stand.
Exactly.
But maybe you got a point there. Maybe it just did turn into the Gay Sportsman Award or Woman Award or Neutral Gender Award or whatever it is.
Yeah, that kills me. I'm not gay. I'm a woman. I just want to be a woman. Okay.
Yeah, but he says he's also. I mean, she's also saying that she wants to date women. So what's the point of being a woman that you want to date women? Like you're going to be a lesbian now? Because it wasn't like I'm Bruce Jenner and I want to be a woman and I want to find a man. It's I want to find more women. It's just like some, Yeah,
that's like saying I want to cut off all my hair and get a weave. What the hell you do? Yeah. Turn into a woman for if you want to date? I want to turn into a woman and be a lesbian. What the hell does that mean?
Well, you used a key word there that brings us to the next part of the topic. Is there a difference between Bruce Jenner and what the hell's her name? The NAACP chick. I forgot her name.
Rachel Dolezal.
Yeah. She wants to be black. Should she be allowed to want to be black? Should she get an award for it? Should she have a bravery award for it?
Maybe she should get an award for it, man. She should go to the BET Awards and get the Lifetime Achievement.
Well, let's face it. It's never been very easy to be black. Maybe she does need a Heroes Award to want to be black.
It's interesting to me, and I'm going to go into...
You're not going to slap me down for saying that?
No, I'm going to go into an entirely different world with that, but I do want to say that I pay attention to her. I was paying attention to her semantics beforehand, and it was a little frustrating to me that they were ignoring it when she was on the Today Show. And I'm like, they're not going to point it out that she's going out of her way, that every time she's asked, but you're not African American, right? And she'll say, I'm black. I identify as black. She was very careful to not say I'm African American.
Was it after or before?
This was after.
Okay.
But she will always say, I'm not. She will not respond to the question, are you African American, with a yes. She'll say, I identify as black. And I finally heard her just blatantly finally say it because nobody would acknowledge what she was trying to say.
Yeah.
And she blatantly said it. I'm not African American.
Mm-hmm.
I'm black, but I'm black.
Okay.
Okay, so that's what she's saying, is that since we've taken this African American ethnicity on as part of our identity, then there's a distinction between that and black.
Is there? I don't know.
It's not on a job application, not on shit I've ever seen, but that's what she's making a case. That's what the case she's trying to make, is that I'm black, even though I'm not African American.
She's sort of creating her new little area. Then.
She's creating a race, damn it, is what she's doing. So, the next time a cop puts a gun in my face, I'm going to say, wait a minute now, I identify as Asian. You can't treat me like a black dude, right?
You were driving like an Asian? Look at me with the stereotypes.
Exactly.
Terrible. I'm a terrible person.
But I mean, that's something that caught my attention early on, and it was frustrating me a little that they wouldn't call her on that or catch that or acknowledge that. But I think they were intentionally not acknowledging it, and I think it was more frustrating for her than it was for me, because she was trying to get that point across. And I finally heard her blatantly say it earlier this week, because she's doing hair now, right?
She is. She's doing what she's really good at. She's now specializing in weaves. That's why when you said it, she's doing hair weaves. And what better person? She must have been doing it her entire black life to try and prove a point. So she's got to be really good at it, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to weave that alone. No. I
think I just threw up a little bit.
It's unbelievable. She said that's what she did, though. She said she did hair in school and all of that kind of shit. So I mean, it's cool, but
people think that she's like, because she was the president of the chapter, that she was some wealthy socialite or something. Like most political people gain a bunch of cash and they don't have to have real jobs. I bet that's her deal, though. I bet she was probably working the same time she was president of the chapter, don't you think?
Yes, absolutely, she was, and that's what she was doing. She was doing hair.
Yeah.
I got a different feeling about it, because I've started a new job, and so people don't know me. Right.
Right.
Now there's this guy who ironically I replaced, so I sit literally in the same seat he used to sit in.
Okay.
And I've seen him. I've met him. I know him now. Or I should say I've met him. I don't know him any more than he knows me. But I can see the resemblance, how people would think we look like we could be kin.
Okay.
It's almost like, so because of that, everyone judged me to be like him.
Okay.
Which is a mistake, to judge me to be like anybody that you know, unless you know me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what he's saying? He's saying that you're like You're the only black guy in the whole place, and they just want you to be the same guy?
No, no, not at all. It's just that the type of person he is very. I am a very different individual. I think I've taken a very unique path that the average person have not. So to take the average person and say, hey, I'm going to judge you by the last person that sat there because I think you're just like him is a big mistake, because I am so different than the average person. I think we're all individuals, but I think I am an extreme case of nothing like the last person you met.
You are an extreme nothing. I mean, an extreme case of nothing like the last person.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm an extreme case of nothing, damn it, times two.
You've had a different life than anybody else in that room. You know, you've done all kinds of different things than anybody else in that room. I don't know why anybody would pigeonhole you. You must look exactly like that guy, like they think,
just close, just enough to make the comparison. If I don't know you, when you don't know somebody, you meet them for the first time, you try to kind of associate them with something or somebody. And I so happen to be somebody you can easily make the assimilation with the person I replaced, because y'all kind of look like y'all could be cousins or something. Right.
He must have looked a lot like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air's uncle then, right?
So the point, we got the same complexion.
Okay, there we go.
We got the same complexion, and he wears his head bald like I wear my head bald. Yeah. And I mean, it's just like you look like you could be cousins, basically. Right. So the point is, I'm pretty radical, and he's pretty white bread.
Okay.
So I was being judged as white bread. I was being judged as cornball, white bread. Yeah.
But that could be good. You're constantly walking around shocking everyone, and that's got to be fun.
But unfortunately, while I'm not easily offended, I am easily offended when I am passed judgment on. Yeah. And for a Mexican guy to walk in the room and say, I'm blacker than you, pissed me off. And
everything's race.
Yeah, well, it kind of brought, and I call him Rachel Dolezal to this day. He doesn't say it anymore. He tries to avoid it, and I don't let him anymore.
No,
sorry,
you took control of it. Yeah,
that you goddamn right. You said it. Now you live it. You are now Rachel Dolezal to me. Because you ain't really black, but you identify as black. See, because he thought because he could name all these stereotypes of rap songs and hood movies that he can feel like he lives up to, that makes him blacker than me. And
okay, yeah.
Living up to hip-hop and hood movie stereotypes don't make you black. No. And so, yes, I had the real come to Jesus meeting with him to tell him why he's not black, to name a lot of things he has not experienced to be able to be called black. Yeah. But aside from that, I thought about Rachel Dolezal for real. Yeah. When I was not there. And I said, what a convenience.
What a convenience.
To just be able to say, damn it, I'm black. And I'm just going to fuck what you've been through. I don't care if you've been called nigger by people as you rode across town on a bus when you were a kid. I don't care if you were a 10-year-old boy getting stopped by police and telling you to go back on the other side of the drive because this is not where your kind belongs. I don't care if you have the burden of raising black children in a climate that is harsh to black children, black boys in a climate right now that's dangerous for black boys, to both black people as well as white cops. I don't care that you had to go through all of that, and I didn't. Today, I decided to be black, and I'm blacker than you. Yeah, I just want to say fuck you one time. That's all.
And you did.
Just once.
It is bizarre that people think that. I know this guy, and we have these political debates online, and you know him too, actually. But he says that he understands what it's like for the driving while black thing, because he says every time he gets pulled over, the cop treats him like a criminal. So now he understands somehow. And I don't think he gets it because he looks like a big giant guy when he gets pulled over doesn't mean that you get stared at as a shoplifter every time you walk through a store, or you get, all the other things that come along with it. All of the leering eyes and all of the shit that comes along with that whole racism deal. But, he's convinced that he understands the whole situation because of that thing.
And, I always, and I pointed to him as well, just so that he can understand that I grew up, he's a younger guy, and I get that.
Okay, yeah, your
so
guy, not
being
mine. Yeah.
young, being a kid to me, being young like you are, you've grown up in a society that was a lot more PC. You grew up in a society where hip hop was already on the map, and a lot has been accepted. I grew up as a black kid in the late '60s and through the '70s, and I'm gonna tell you what. As an adult, I can handle a lot more than I could as a kid. But those are the things to me that gets pushed to the side and misunderstood as being not as big a deal as it really is, because it's a kid. When I look at how small middle school children are, I look and I say, damn, I was little. I was young. Were we really that small? Because you felt so much bigger then, because you were part of everybody around you was your size. But you look at them now, you look at a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old, and you think of how sensitive and how fragile their minds are, and the shit that was being fed to us at that age. Man, I mean, that's something that you can't just claim when you grow up. I don't have the luxury of just saying I identify as white, because when shit gets real, you are who you are.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody wants to be black till the shit gets real. Okay, when it comes time to be treated like a nigga, all of a sudden it ain't cool to be black no more.
Wow, okay? We raced up this show.
And I'm just saying real, and I'm not trying to color code your show or anything, and I'm certainly not trying to play a quote unquote race card. But in regards to Rachel Dolezal, the nerve of you to just claim that you're and now all of a sudden we've created a new term, you can be transracial. Bullshit.
You can't.
Bullshit. Now that's the card I'm going to play, the bullshit card.
Which you've done very well today on the show, I might add.
That's my take, and I'm sticking to it.
I didn't pick these topics on purpose either, because you were on the show.
Yeah, sure you didn't.
No, I didn't. I had them written down for Lamar. Lamar Shirley was supposed to be on today and dropped out. You couldn't find a whiter guy in Seattle than Lamar Shirley.
Well, a white guy named Lamar is saying a lot, okay?
It's
I don't know. Okay, if you just told me my name's Lamar, I would think, okay, this is a black dude.
It does kind of strike that. It's more like, it's like a 70s black guy name, I think. That's how I think of it.
Yeah, it is.
He's younger, too, so I think he I don't know, he must have read it in a book or something. This guy, crazy. So I had this other thing. Let's stray far away from it. Let's see if we can stay away from the whole black-white thing during this next topic. Have you noticed this? I know. Have you noticed this? I've seen it in a couple movies now, TV shows. Shameless. Do you watch that show?
No, I don't watch anything.
Okay. Well, and then there's the new movie out, the new Mad Max Beyond Midget Dome, or Mumble Dome, or whatever the new Mad Max movie is. I watched that, and they have this sequence in there because there's no water. Again, with the water, it seems like every time we blow each other up and go into the future, there's no water left. But so they've got this room full of big fat women who are sitting there being milked for their mother's milk, so that these people have something to drink.
Nice.
Now in Shameless, so this happens last season in Shameless. They're running like a whorehouse, and they get busted by the cops. So they're trying to find some more income, and they get all these women to come up there, and they're milking these women, and they're selling their mother's milk online. Now, did you know about that part? That's a whole new thing. You can go on like Craigslist and buy mother's milk for your baby.
Oh, no.
Oh, it's hideous, I think. So I don't understand why anybody would do that, but evidently it's a booming business. How you get... It's just, I don't know. I don't even know what to say about it. It's just mind-boggling that it happens.
I have no idea, man. I'm totally oblivious to that.
So I'm hoping you're going to come with the funny on this one.
I'm lost. I'm gone. I have nothing for that. I don't understand that. So women are milking themselves.
Yeah. And selling it.
If I can be the milker, I'm all in.
I'm not. Are you crazy?
No. Yes, I'm crazy. Shit, I'd rather squeeze a woman's titties than a cow's.
Well, yeah, me too, but look what you're doing. It's not the most attractive thing in the world.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, it depends on who I'm milking. That does make a difference. Like, I don't want to milk Nell Carter.
Or Shirley Hemphill.
Or Shirley Hemphill. Well, we showing our age, right? We can't think of ugly people newer than that.
Ugly. I don't know any new ugly people.
I don't know the new ugly people, but I wouldn't want to milk her titties, that's for sure.
I love the topics on You Name It.
That's why you named it that.
Yeah, so that was one of the things I found strange, that they're selling that, and I don't think it's sanitary. I have no idea why anybody would trust buying mother's milk, breast milk on the internet, but that's going on out there. So this is a public service announcement for all the listeners. Just stop it.
Cut it!
Yeah, just stop it. So what do you got today? Anything going on with you?
Not a whole lot, man. I did this show. I do this new show, and I'm going to bring you on, called Unusual Suspect.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, yeah.
Oh, it's a great show, man. It's really hot. I'm glad I stole the idea. But it was just something one day I said, man, I should try that. And it really it's gone well. It's only been 4 episodes so far.
Yeah. Tell us where we can hear it.
When one of them you'll never hear, the best episode so far will never be heard because I forgot to record it. You can catch it on Stitcher.com, actually. It's the Unusual, and just search for Unusual Suspects. There's one called The Unusual Suspects, and then there's mine that's just Unusual Suspects. I'm going to try to carry it onto iTunes under the umbrella of What Up Doe Entertainment Podcast Network.
Okay.
But also, what I did, though, I had a twist because there's 4 people on each show. But I have a friend who has a site where I can bring 3 people on, and he wanted me to do it on his show. And his show is really set up perfect for it, except that I can only get 3 people.
Yeah. But what's the premise so these guys who are listening know what you're talking about?
Okay, so if you know the show Around the Horn on ESPN, I stole their idea. Okay, so it's a blatant ripoff of their concept, but I do more than sports. So keeping under the What Up Doe show theme of sports, entertainment, and news, I ask questions related to current topics in sports, entertainment, and news. I've prepared 10 questions. So it starts with 4 podcasters or comedians, or mostly it's been podcasters, but writers and comedians are also welcome. I've had a video blogger once. But what I do is I ask the first round, I ask 4 questions. 1 question, each person gets to answer that question and justify their responses. And they make points. Every time they make a point, I give them a point. So I'm scoring their answers.
Yeah.
At the end of the first round, whoever has the lowest score is out.
So you do like an arbitrary point system, like I'll give you 10 points for that one, or do you do?
No, on the other site when I did the Battle Royale, it's easier because I can just click and give you a few extras. But other than that, you have no on the actual show on the real show, on the preliminary rounds to the Battle Royales, you have no idea what your score is until I read your scores.
Okay.
And I read the scores at the end of the round, and I say what your scores are, and the lowest score is out of the first round. And then the second round is just like that, except there's only 3 contestants and 3 questions. Right. And then the lowest score is out, and then for the final round, I do best 2 out of 3, and then the show is over. And it's not over. Then we have a winner. We crown the winner, and the winner gets to do a monologue up to 30 seconds at the end.
Right.
And it's been a lot of fun. It's been, because you know me, Jerry, don't bite your tongue. You don't have to agree with me, but you better be able to justify what you're saying. I'm not judging your answers. I'm judging how you justify your answers. And quite frankly, if you can make good points contrary, and your argument is contrary to what I believe, you probably score more points. And you got to be ruthless.
As long as it's a real factual and, evidentiary argument, probably, right?
Yeah, and sensible. And be ruthless. I'm not, you know me. I don't care if you be offensive if you got to be ruthless, be honest, be brutally honest, and have fun with it. And that's my only rules. So those are the things that really score you points, is your brutal honesty, your ruthlessness with your opinion. And if you can get a good one in there, get a cracker, have a little fun with the topic at the same time, you get in. And don't get offended by me, because I'm going to be offensive. I'm not sharing my opinions on the topics.
No, you're just a judge. Right?
Exactly. And I'm hosting. I host the show,
you're the king.
And I score the show, and I just kind of keep it moving along. But I do keep some fun in the way I host. Now, after 3 shows, I take the 3 winners of those shows, and we go to my friend's site, and we do a battle royale with the 3 winners going head up.
And is that live?
That is live, and not only that, I'm not the only one that's scoring in that case, because there's people that can come into the room and be like a virtual studio audience that can watch and listen to the show as we're doing it, and they have the authority to score your answers too. So it runs up very fast. The points do. Put it this way: you can win the first round with 12 points on the regular show. In Battle Royale, the first round was like 204 points.
But it's a whole different system. That's what I was asking you about, the point system in yours. Do you have a way that you score it? Do you say, a good answer is worth 5 points, or
no?
Or you just decide?
As you are making your points to justify your answer. If I ask a yes or no question and you say yes, and you start to explain why you say yes, every time I feel like, oh yeah, that's a good point, you get a point.
Okay, so it's just by your monarch style feelings.
Absolutely, and absolutely, that's true. But then the battle royale is more than just me. You're being scored by everybody.
I think that's what makes it fun, then.
Exactly what makes it fun. And then the Battle Royale, there's no elimination rounds. There are still the 3 rounds, but nobody's eliminated. You get to answer all 10 questions. Everybody answers all 10 questions.
Popular vote then at that point.
Exactly. And whoever has the most points at the end wins, and that's it.
I'm going to have to do my homework and figure this all out.
Yeah, it's fun. You're going to enjoy it. I tell you, you're going to enjoy it. And a lot of people who've never done it are kind of nervous when they go in, but everyone that's done it can't wait to get on again. So I said, if you were on it and you lost, you can come back.
Yeah. I got another question, though. So when you do your topics and you'll say to contestant number 2, the question is, then do you interact? Do you say, what do you mean by that? Do you say anything?
Nope. You know what you're being scored on. If you want to say no and be done, okay, I'm gonna move on. Move on to the next person. What's your thoughts? Because guess what? That no and no response is not getting you a point.
Right? Yeah, you got to be verbose.
You have to elaborate, and you have to elaborate. You make points to make points.
That sounds fun. And so I'm slated for 2 weeks from now, right?
Absolutely, you're slated for the 2nd, right?
Yeah, the taping on the 2nd. That'll be a lot of fun. I feel I'll be a celebrity coming in there and getting beat up on by all your other. I've been in rooms with your friends before.
Well, this is more than my friends, though. I
meant the podcasters.
Yeah, but I reach out. But I reach out to more than my network, my close knit network. I reach out to other podcasters from other networks, and so I have a nice. I'm going for a very diverse audience.
Sure. Yeah.
And I get a very diverse opinions because that way when you, for instance, come on the show and if you make a good showing for yourself, you got 3 other podcasters on this show with you, 4 including me, that's going to promote this show, that's going to put it out to their people to listen, and it just gives you a little more exposure to an audience you wouldn't have otherwise reached.
A little networking between the community.
Exactly, the entire podcast community, and not just the ones that I know. So, like this last show, I didn't know any of these guys before we did the show.
Oh, cool.
It's how I'm getting people from all over the world doing it this way too. I've had people from Australia. I've had a guy from Australia, Nova Scotia's represented. Ireland has represented. So it's been really cool, really fun. And
do they know anything in Nova Scotia?
Exactly. That is very interesting for them because they have to prepare differently than you do because all the topics are shit that's going on here for the most part.
Yeah.
Unless it's a huge world news story, it's going to be just stuff that's happening in the States. And especially like sports, they don't know shit about NBA or basketball. So I give them some resources where they can be prepare themselves, see what these people are saying, look at this show or read this article or go to this site and see what they're saying about it, because these are big stories in the States. They're big stories within that sport, so you're going to find a lot of information and form your own opinion. And I swear this guy came on, knew nothing about basketball. I gave him some sources to go just check out what other people are saying, and he formed an opinion based on what he read, and it was totally unique to our perspective. Because our perspective was built on what we've seen, what our heart, where our heart is, and he had an entirely different perspective, and I loved it. And one question that he thought was going to kill him ended up he ended up very competitive in that one question, and he ended up winning the show. So it was it's a very interesting show, but I didn't bring it up to plug it, even though I did ramble.
No, I think it's interesting. I think that any of the listeners of this show would find it, because it'll be a variety of topics and a good waste of time, probably. An entertaining waste of time.
Now,
sports is really my weak point, too, unless you're talking about MMA, and then I know a little bit about that. But
if there's a huge enough
that's
story.
the one, basketball's the one played primarily by white people, right?
Yeah, but and if there is a big story in MMA, it will. And trust me, the questions I ask are big stories.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not
I like
asking
how you gloss over all my horrible jokes. Great.
Yeah, I did. I got that. I loved it. It was hilarious. I'm laughing inside. But it's I think it's funnier when it's taken seriously. That's what I think.
Right. Yeah, I think it's funnier when you kick me in the nuts about it.
I think it's funnier when I take it. Yeah, I think it's funnier when I take it serious, as opposed to stopping and waiting for a laugh.
Well,
it's funnier when we keep going. So yeah, they're big stories, and you don't really have to know the sport to get it. All you have to do is kind of read up on it, you know. And
so what do you win?
Again, which you get to do the monologue at the end and talk about whatever you want to talk about. Anything.
That's more of a crowd punishment than me winning, wouldn't it be? But you know, Ryan makes trophies. Maybe you should make a trophy. We can send it to you, and then you can display it.
No, I don't want to do all of that. I don't want. You know what? You know what you win on Around the Horn? You win a 30-second monologue. So that's what you get on this show. I'm blatantly ripping off their format. Okay.
No, that's fine. You don't need to win anything. What? We need participation medals? What?
You have fun. You get the pride of saying, "I came, I saw, and I kicked your asses," because you outshined some strong minds and some vocal heroes that's already out there doing it. So it's a pride thing to win as well.
Yeah, it's a fun little exercise, a little thought exercise, probably. So
yeah, It's a lot of fun, man. It's really a lot of fun, and I really run the gamut on topics. And another thing, when it comes to like the sports questions, I get quite a few times where people say, "Oh, I don't know anything about this," or "I don't know anything about that." I always tell them, just don't let that bog you down. It's one question.
Yeah,
kick ass on the rest of kick ass on the rest of them. You'll be okay. Okay, so
you got plenty of chance to make up. On something that you do feel strongly about, I'm sure.
Exactly, and overcome it. Just don't. If you suck on the. Now I had this one guy. I hope he's not listening. He's a politician in Kansas, I think, and he's running for office. So I told him, I said, "You're in trouble, man, because being politically correct is not a prerequisite of this show. In fact, trying to be PC can hurt you here. Okay? Being politically incorrect may hurt you in your election, but on this show, you're going to get swallowed up. So, like a true politician...
What you want is blunt opinions,
Like a true politician, he came with canned responses. Mm-hmm. And when I say canned, I mean he literally had them written and was reading his answers from a sheet of paper.
Yeah, great.
And it sounded like he was doing a bad speech. And he got chewed up and spit out.
Yeah, because nobody does well with prepared statements. Most politicians don't do well with them.
Yeah, and he was a politician not doing well with them. That's what he was doing. But
is that the name that you mentioned that in your email? Is that the name? The one who should be embarrassed, like so and so.
No. That's one of my buddies. He is now. Here's the funny thing. He does a show. He was on the same show that I told you the guy was nervous about the basketball question. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Spirit G does a show about basketball. That's what his podcast is about.
Yeah.
Okay. So. Turns out the basketball question was the first question out the box. And he came out like gangbusters. He knew everything. Yeah. Oh, he was all hot. I swear he sucked for the rest of the way. And then the next three questions, because I try to mix the topics. Okay, if I have, for that first round, those first four questions, I'm going to try to hit topics in 3 and 4 different areas, 4 different genres, so that I don't want them related. Okay, so I want everybody to get an opinion on something that I think is the hottest of these areas. So I want to try to hit those first, because the first round is the only round that everybody's going to get a chance to speak. So I don't want anybody to miss these four topics. I want to hear everybody's opinion on them, because everybody should have an opinion on these 4. Okay.
Everybody should actually have an opinion on everything, but you know how it is.
Yeah, exactly. But the stronger opinions, I think these should be the stronger opinions of the bunch. You're going to get your shot at it. I know you want a piece of this, right? So he slammed that basketball question. It happened to be the first question. And from there on, the next 3 questions, when I say this guy sucked eggs, you have no idea. He was like, I don't know shit about the Confederate flag. I don't know nothing about this. He was just like, it was the worst ever. And I just pounded on him, because that's one thing we do from afar, from his podcast to my podcast, is we rag on each other from a distance all the time anyway. So now here we are finally in the same room at the same time, and you suck? Oh, you are about to get it. So I had to drop his name in there.
He didn't sleep for a week. He was worried about how bad he was.
Well, here's the funny part is afterwards he invited me, because he recorded his show after we were done, and he asked if I would have time to pop in and do a guest spot on his show, and I did, and I called him out on his own show for stinking up the joint, and so we had fun with it. We had a lot of fun with it. So, anyway. I guess we should move on. Forget the reason I really brought it up.
Yeah,
I really had a different reason that I brought it up, but forget that. Let's move on.
There's really nowhere to move on to, but I did want to ask you this. I think that it would be a really good idea if from now on, as you host that show, you do it with your Al Sharpton impression, because that would make it a lot funnier.
No, actually, I don't have a Reverend Al Sharpton impression. I was just doing that because we were talking about him.
Saying.
And he happened.
I know.
It
was brilliant, though. We'll just let the audience soak that in and imagine it, but it was fucking brilliant. Anyway, we don't have anywhere to go to. If you wanted to wrap that up with what you were talking about, I don't have anywhere to go to but out right now.
Well, I brought it up. The reason I brought up the show, a topic that I had broached on the show, came up, and I literally and it was funny because at the time of the show, I was kicking I had no idea. I totally missed it. But as I was going back and editing the show and listening, I was kicking myself for not saying something. I was like, damn it, I really want to shut one of you fuckers up because I disagreed with every single person on the panel. Every single one of their opinions to me was screwed up, and it just burned the hell out of me that I didn't say anything.
You could do an after show. You could go on in a whole new recording and do a wrap-up show with that and explain why you think everybody's stupid.
Yeah, I could do that, but no, I don't want to do that, man.
That's a lot of work.
I aired it as was. I aired it as it was. Well, I edited. I did have to edit it down, and we had a flub in the show where I got kicked out, and so it was some funny moments. It's a fun show though. It's called the Battle Royale 1. It's Unusual Suspects Battle Royale 1 was the last one, and Latone Hart won the first episode. Latone. Yeah. He won episode 1, but he was a no-show for the Battle Royale.
How do you no-show for that?
He did not show up, and he was talking shit all week.
Got to be a scheduling conflict or something.
So the CEO of the website had been saying that he accepts my offer when his schedule is right and we can coordinate schedules. He would come on the show and do a set. Well, he happened to be in the room as we were getting started, and since Latone was a no-show, I called him out. I said, you said you wanted a piece of the action. Come on and jump in right now. It's your site. So this is no better time for you to participate and come in and cover my ass right now because I'm stuck. I'm one short. My guy didn't show up. And so the CEO of the website sat in and was very, very good. He damn near won. He was really good. So it turned out to be a really good opportunity for him to get the word out on his site. And it
sounds really cool. Sounds like it's a good opportunity to network with other podcasters, and it sounds like a lot of fun. So there's virtually no way to make yourself look. You can't make yourself look bad because anybody who's willing to step in the ring with all the people that anybody, then bravery gets a point for that one, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. So it is cool, man. Well, this was fun, Jerry Taylor.
Yeah. Hey, I want to thank you for stepping in here at the last moment to do this week's show. Lamar Shirley had some technical difficulties on his end. His mic inputs wouldn't work. So Ryan was busy, the usual co-host. So there you go. Just like the CEO, last minute, and I appreciate it, and so does the crowd, I'm sure.
Well, you know what, Jerry, man, anything for you, man. We go way back. We go back like rocking chairs. And you hit me up and said you asked me if I could do it. And there's no doubt about it. There was no hesitation on my part. All I needed was the time to get together and get it done. So anytime you need anything from me, man, I'm a phone call away. So
same here. Thanks again.
It was fun, though.
Yeah, and go on with your evening, and I'll let you know. This will post on Friday, as usual, and I'll throw it onto your page just so you can see it. And and we got to get the audio to me. So let's just sign off. Thanks everybody, and share the show and listen to What Up Doe on Stitcher Network, Spreaker, not Stitcher. You're probably on Stitcher too, but Spreaker is the home for it, and I'll link it on the page as well.
And if you listen to this show on Stitcher.com, make sure you give us a 5-star review. That goes for this
Everybody
show right here. You make sure you give it a 5-star review. 5-star reviews help us push our way up the Stitcher ladder. And if you love the show, if you support the show, that is something, that's a request. We don't ask you to pay for it. We don't ask you to do anything, but let the world know that you enjoy it.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks. We'll see you next week.